What's happening, everybody? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss channel. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Now, this is pretty interesting. So, T.O. went on a show put on by Bleacher Report by a man named Master Tess or Master Tees or something like that. And they talked about, when T.O. played for the Eagles, they went to the Super Bowl. And T.O. played in that game with a broken ankle, I think, or broken leg. He was the best player on the field. They lost the Super Bowls to the Patriots. It was one of the 6 Super Bowl Brady has. But he played that game. He had over 100 yards receiving. He scored a touchdown. He just balled out on a broken leg. But in that game, T.O. reveals that he believes that Donovan McNabb was hungover from partying the night before the Super Bowl. And he believes it so much so that he says that Donovan actually threw up in the huddle during a sequence in the game at some point during the game. That is kind of crazy. And don't believe me. Don't take my word for it, because guess what I always do? I love to share my screen, and I love to let the people tell it themselves. T.O. says that Donovan was hungover, and here he goes. Let's listen to both of them. Both Donovan and T.O. will show up in separate clips and throughout this clip in separate interviews they did on Bleacher Report.
There were some things that were said and known after the fact about, Donovan's play, things of that nature.
Like what?
I mean, they said he threw up in the huddle.
I need you to set the record straight.
I did not throw up. As I say every time people bring it up, roll the videotape. The film don't lie.
Why would somebody lie? There are teammates that said he threw up in the huddle.
Now, this is big right here, because T.O.'s going to go on to say, this is a quote supposedly from one of the teammates on the team. It says he didn't get a play call in on time. He mumbled, and Freddie Mitchell, who was a wide receiver on the team, yelled out the play we were trying to bring in. He was puking at the time, trying to hold it in. This is by the Eagles center. He was a player on the team. He was the center on that team.
Personally, I didn't see it, but there are guys, and I know that there are teammates that I've talked to recently that said that they saw him throw up in the huddle. I've talked to teammates since then and know for a fact that he was out the night before.
Ooh. I mean, wow. That is pretty incredible. That's pretty remarkable if that is true. Obviously, I mean, I don't know if anybody has come out and confirmed that Donovan was out partying, that Donovan even threw up in the huddle. But that was a rumor back then, and this rumor has continued to last. But what's even more impressive than Donovan playing in the Super Bowl, hungover, potentially throwing up in the huddle of said Super Bowl, is the fact that that Super Bowl was over 10 years ago, and T.O. and Donovan McNabb are still beefing about it. Right? What's more impressive is the fact that this beef between T.O. and Donovan McNabb is still going on. I mean, T.O. and Donovan McNabb have not liked each other for a very, very long time. And the fact that they're able to still hold on to this, I mean, it's crazy. So they played in Super Bowl 39 together with the Eagles. You got to think that's back in 2004. 2004, when the Eagles went 13-3 and played in Super Bowl 39. These two were magical together. I mean, so much so, it was one of the best years of T.O.'s Hall of Fame career. I mean, his year in the Eagles in 2000, he only played 1 year with the Eagles, one significant year with the Eagles, and it was one of the better years of his Hall of Fame career. But what does this mean? So we hear a lot about stuff like this. Like, we know, like, stories like these come out all the time. We know about the Michael Jordan story back when he went to Atlantic City in New Jersey to gamble the night before, I think, a playoff game. We've got Donovan McNabb allegedly going out partying the night before the Super Bowl. We've seen Odell Beckham being on yachts right before playoff games. Like, so this isn't new to sports. But the fact that T.O., who is starting his own, like, he's got his own podcast, he's got his own YouTube channel, he's becoming more and more media savvy. He's been on I Am Athlete, which is one of the best sports podcasts out right now, hosted by Brandon Marshall, Ocho Cinco, Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder. So he's been on that a couple times. So T.O. is building his platform in the media space, in the social media space and all that. And so for him to go on Master T's Bleacher Report and talk about Donovan like this is just kind of funny. it just shows you that this beef still lasts. I mean, we're talking about almost 20 years, over 15 years ago, 16 years ago. That is crazy. But if Donovan McNabb actually played in the Super Bowl hungover and played a pretty good game, I mean, I don't remember Donovan's stats from that game. Let me see if I can pull up Donovan's stats from that game because they almost won. Like, if the Owens, the quarterback went 31 for 51 for 357 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, that is pretty impressive. I mean, the completion percentage isn't great, but it's pretty impressive for a guy who allegedly was hungover. I mean, hey, if a lot of quarterbacks out there, hell, I'll root for the Raiders. If our quarterback could go 31-51 sober, I'd be happy with 350 and 3 touchdowns. I'd be happy as hell. So to go out there and play in a Super Bowl and almost win hungover, it's pretty impressive, Donovan. I'd give you that if that's the case. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. at the Black Boss Channel. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at JLightsy7. I'll see you guys next time.